I'm a big fan of ignoring the news, especially when it comes to making financial decisions and when it comes to the markets. And a lot of people make 20, 30, 40-year investment decisions based on what's happening now. For most people, what's happening now is completely irrelevant. However, for obvious reasons, it is a hot topic, so I just want to give my take on it. Okay, first things first, recessions, market correction, market downturn, bear market. This is all finance jargon to say that the stock markets have dropped. And they've done this because of the coronavirus, which has obviously shook the world and brought a lot of countries to a standstill. The markets don't like uncertainty, and they don't like closures, and they don't like a lack of production. Now, these market falls are usually triggered by some sort of imbalance in the economy. Too much investment in housing in 2008, the dot-com bubble in 2001. And the length of time it takes to come out the other end usually depends on how long this imbalance takes to correct. The current market drops, it's not been caused by that. It's been a big shock. It's been like a bolt of lightning that's come completely out of the blue, and it's taken everyone by shock. And this tells us that it's not going to last long. It's also like what we saw before anybody's time was watching this, but the 1918 pandemic flu, which happened very similar sort of time of the year, where in the beginning of the year, the pandemic flu shook America. It went all the way across America, then it went global. And the numbers got worse, and then they started dying off again in the summer, once they got a grip on it and once the warmer weather came in. But then once production started up again in the autumn, or fall for our American friends watching this, the numbers increased again. And then you had a third wave, a third most deadly wave in the winter of 1918, which then continued into the summer of 1919. Okay, so the actual pandemic itself lasted around 15 months. However, the recession only lasted for 7. So only for 7 months, even though after that you had the second and the third most deadly wave where a lot of people died. 5% of the world's population died. A third of the planet got infected, yet the markets had already priced that in. We're expecting something similar with this. So economists have called it short and deep. So short in time and obviously deep, that it's going to be a deep drop, which we've seen already. UK, US, Europe, the markets have dropped between 30 and 35%. Now, what we don't know is, could they go further? Yeah. How far can they go? We don't know. And how long is this going to last? Again, we don't know that. But what we do know is that it's going to be all right, and we're going to come out the other end. If it takes 6 months, 12 months, even 18 months, which we expect it to be quicker than that. But again, things are going to return to normality again. And if anything, it's actually a massive opportunity. And look, you can argue that we're more connected these days. You can argue that it's going to spread a lot easier, because back then it was taking 3 months to cross the Atlantic, because now you can do it in 6 hours. And to be fair, you've got an argument for that, because we've seen it spread very, very quickly. But you'd also argue that was 102 years ago. So you'd hope and assume, although that's clearly up for debate, that we're a lot more intelligent than we were back then. We've learned from our mistakes, and we've got medical advancements, we've got antibiotics, we've got technology that we didn't have back then. So you would argue that we're going to contain this much more quickly. So, long story short, yes, the markets have dropped, yes, things have gone down, yes, we've got uncertainty at the minute, but it's going to be all right. We're going to pull through the other end. And if anything, like I say, see this as an opportunity.